Hello, traders. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I haven't said anything. Now I have. Happy Sunday to you. It's the weekly candle close stream. We congregate here traditionally for the close. That close will be in 32 minutes and change. And yeah, the weekend's been pretty quiet for all of crypto. XRP got a little bounce today, but doesn't seem like it's really turning into much. Start trying to get comfortable here. And forgive the freaking sun, man. The sun's like bouncing off these buildings right now. So you can't escape the bad lighting. It's just crazy. Crazy stuff. So soon that will be gone. It won't be that big of a deal. Uh-oh. High gainer fuzziness. What the? Oh no. Time to freak out. I don't know what would cause it to be fuzzy though. Dang bro, that's not good. It's really bad. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I could do, Brad, to fix that. Too much gain. Oh, how do you turn the gain down? Go ahead. It's like on auto. Dude. Hello? I don't know, man. This is messed up. Not sure what we can do now, okay? Yeah, it's tough, man. Tough streaming in here. But anyway, so before I was just interrupted by just technical issues. So we're going for the weekly close. Bitcoin's still holding above that really important $92,000 level. All right, sounds better. And as long as we're above that, remember, it's a great day. But just after 7 positive closes in a row, yesterday broke that streak. Today, continuing to break the streak. And one thing that just looms in my mind, and I imagine it might loom in yours too, because we just know about what happens, is the Bitcoin futures chart. We just have this unfilled gap sitting there at 91,880, and 91,880 is a key inflection point too. So I'd feel a lot better if on the CME they took the price down to this 91,880 level to fill the gap at the same time regarding a key inflection point as support, because they haven't done it, right? Like we closed April 22nd at that resistance. It was support, it was resistance, and then we just gapped up above it. And so market participants love seeing forms of confirmation that levels are that were broken. We want to make sure they are supports, and we don't have that yet here on futures. So that's what kind of makes me think, after such a beautiful recovery straight up eventually to the 61.8% retrace on spot. You see it here. I tweeted about it. The highest level to the lowest level. When assets retrace on traditional markets, they typically go on that first big retrace between 38% and 61.8%. We call that the golden zone. You know that. It's just a reiteration of what I've said before. The 618 though is the golden retrace. That is the top of the golden zone. And I'll just, again, mark the zone here so you can see right there. And typically at 618s, you get reactions. This is where you get pullbacks. It doesn't mean you're going to make a lower low than previous low. It just means we get a somewhat of a pullback to fill the gap, to maybe re-regard that level as support. That would make plenty of sense to me. And then we pivot and we rally later after cooling off a little, but you obviously don't have to. Bitcoin's momentum driven. It's just, yeah, I think about the gap. And I just want evidence that this is real. It's cool we made a higher high than this high, but let's make a higher low. If you give me evidence of a higher low, evidence of accumulation, evidence of more than before, it's just going to strengthen the argument for more sustained higher prices in the long run. All right. So a lot of times what will happen after the golden zone's achieved and we get some sort of pullback off that golden zone, like we're seeing, like we have hit the golden zone, you get a pullback, you put in a higher low, oh my God, more than before, you rally again, and you get a bigger rally that takes you to the deeper retraces, the 786s and the 886s. 886 is 1054, and that would conclude a really bearish wave structure. We're on the C to D wave right now. I mean, we'd sniff this out like as a possibility because you don't know. It's like, hey, they're putting in a lower low double bottom here. You're making a dragon pattern. It's just, there is nothing different about this than what we saw in Microsoft before it went on its face-ripping run to all-time highs. There are countless dragon patterns that we've identified over the years on multiple markets where it starts like this, Shopify, remember, and eventually, it sometimes takes months, but eventually these big dragons, this isn't even that large, you get 88% retraces. And at this point, yeah, we really want to be paying attention to what type of price action we start receiving up here. We start topping out once, twice, thrice, they're failing, they're out thrusting through, and they can't keep the price sustained above the old all-time high long. You start rolling over and showing bearish price action, yeah, you might be really done. I mean, it could be the end for Bitcoin. But man, I'll tell you, they take the 886s and the people that don't understand wave structures or these big rallies like this, value perceived area for a short maybe at 886 and resistance, and maybe there's bearish divergence, the unsuspecting victims might think it's a great time to go long when it's actually the worst. And I mean, I'm just saying, like the Dow Jones did this exact same thing right here, dude. It was we literally identified the dragon. Okay, the low, the lower low, and what did you do? You ran up. You hit the 88% retrace, and that pattern completed. Spent some time before the crash. It's just crazy. Dragons turn into sharks. It sounds like some crazy stuff. And if you're just listening, maybe rolling your eyes, like these are just wave structures that have been identified and studied and researched, and there's names that are put on them. Okay, so dragon pattern, it's just a wave structure. A shark, wave structure. Gartley, wave structure. Butterfly, they're just wave structures, Fibonacci points, okay? So it's just simplifying it, making it easier and more condensed, all right? So. But yeah, the futures have reopened. Bitcoin's fine, man. I mean, 93.9. It's down about 1,000 points from the close on Friday. You understand, within 5 minutes, that could be up 1,000 points. I mean, it's just $1,000 on Bitcoin is really kind of nothing. So anyway, we're gonna look at some of these. Look at Bitcoin, look at the futures. Look at Bitcoin in the weekly real quick, so we can just, what's the weekly gonna close like? Well, nice, real nice, going for the highest weekly candle close since February 24th. And it could have been better, a little bit higher, but doesn't look like we're gonna get that. You had to close above 94.3 to get a higher close than February 24th. But again, just that 618's there. It's a magic number, 618. And then you've got the 1.618, which is the golden mean ratio, which is a fib extension up here. That's the spiral galaxies and the roses and the whale hunting, right? Spiral, it's everywhere. It's crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good close. And yeah, it's kind of crazy to say that maybe there's hidden bullish divergence that's starting to play out now. And we're going to attempt to rally, and we're going to see what we're made of. And hopefully it's not going to turn into a bear shark and conclude here with a massive markdown. But we'll see. These things happen. All right, let's go to Ethereum. I gotta get Maxine on this new Stream Deck, dude. I gotta get...
Really weird day at the shop. Do you know who I just met? Michael Novogratz. Jonathan Nation also go Knicks, baby.
Stray, thanks so much for the 420. Is that a joint contribution? Did you ask him about his Terra Luna tattoo? If it feels good? Thank you. Jonathan Nation, indeed. I like turtles. You like turtles. We all like turtles. Here's Ethereum. This long, extended, multi-month downtrend. Finally, you know, are they breaking it? My God, they closed like at it, if not broken, and they're today trying to stay out, but they're having problems. And so you're up against the supply line, right? You're up against, if you have a parallel channel tool, the top of the parallel channel tool is considered the overbought threshold. The bottom's the oversold threshold just as easily as if you had an uptrend. The bottom would be oversold, the top would be overbought. Okay, we are at the overbought threshold of a long-term downtrend on Ethereum. So it's like, and we don't really, there's no edge for higher prices of a breakout here. I mean, there just wasn't. It was just kind of crappy price action. No real structures developing or being painted, to be real, textbook ones. But we go to the 4 hour, and we can see right here, we'll see how the price action is correlating to that level. You are broken out, and they're skating along the breakout. I mean, they're trying to right now. But I do have a little bit of a concern here, all right? And this might not mean anything because it's the 4 hour, not that big of a deal. But that is a shooting star reversal on the 4 hour after formally testing 1846. What is 1846? Let's look left. We've had some reversals here back to the 1730 level. So up against some sort of level, but it's more about the local structure here that's kind of an issue. And who knows, man, maybe they're just going to pump it this time. This time's different. But here's a high. I see a sell-off, and I see a really ideolated rally, like a weak kind of joke rally where they make a higher high, but like barely, and like now you're just, then you paint that shooting star this weekend, and then I just see a high, and then I see a slightly higher high technically on candle closes, and I'm seeing like very real, I mean, you tell me, that is class A bearish divergence. On the relative strength index, you've fallen below 60 now, you're back into neutral territory, and it's like, after, hey man, nice rally off the lows. But remember the trend. Remember, like, if we are in a downtrend for real still, this could very well be reliable. And if it is reliable, it would perform pretty well. But man, maybe things are changing. Maybe it's all over now. Maybe we're going to break out and we're going to go crazy. But that would require Bitcoin going a lot higher. We having to go to 100K this week for Ethereum's divergence on the 4 hour to become invalidated and for us to run to 2K. It's still iffy then because of Ethereum's sheer underperformance for a long time now since they went proof of stake. So yeah, it's almost a good setup for a short seller that likes trends, that appreciates downtrends, understands the trend we're in, understands we're in overbought, we're at overbought levels with maybe some seller exhaustion, but hey, the short seller would be, setting stop losses up, right? They wouldn't just be going short. They would have a stop loss and probably have a stop loss set up, probably 1860. I mean, it'd be really tight. They'd be out of this thing real fast because they know if it broke above 1846, you'd be at 2K really fast. So again, we're just talking about like strategic levels, maybe for downside here. And you get stopped out, oh, no big deal. It pumps higher and maybe we're reversing the trend here. We're finally breaking out of this multi-month downtrend, absolutely. But you are coming off of a rally. What rally? How about a 18-day rally where Ethereum has appreciated in value 30%. 30% rally and just kind of floating on up. Yeah, man, there's an argument for more, like for a lower risk entry for a short, but again, short squeeze and all that. Yeah, I don't trust Ethereum. I mean, I hope it goes higher, dude. Like, for everyone in here that owns Ethereum, I'm like rooting for you, but I just don't trust it. But hey, dude, you do you. Okay, so how about Ethereum paired against Bitcoin? Remember, it had like 2 days of up. It's still up there, but yeah, it's been outperforming this weekend. I remember it was outperforming one weekend before it utterly collapsed in the preceding week. So this doesn't reverse any kind of trend. You're still in the basement, right? Multiple, like over 5-year lows. Nothing good going on here. Down 0.62% on the day. Let me make sure. Are my lights turned on? Give me a sec. I forget if I changed it. What's up? Thanks for the 700 plus people tuned in. It's good to see y'all. I know we had some casualties in the Discord this weekend. I don't know what it is about this price action that's causing people to like get all Spartacus up in here, breaking TOS. You know, look, man, family-friendly community. I've only advertised it as that for 7 effing years now, right? I delegate to moderation to people I trust, and it's like kind of robotic. Like, you've been here a long time, that's awesome, but come on, man. Like, if you're actually blatantly breaking TOS, like in our Discord, that's like disrespecting me. That's like saying, you know what, Ray, F you. Like, wow, okay. I mean, if you're gonna do that, that's fine, but like, what do you want me to do? Like, if you tell me to F off, it's pretty disrespectful, and all I've tried to do is help you. I'm not trying to hurt you, right? I'm not trying to defame or denigrate anything or anyone, but if you do that, like, you know, it's kind of rough, man. So I just hope people figure it out going forward. Okay, let's go to XRP, up almost 3%. Man, they're going for the breakout. They're still technically trying to break the neckline right now. Look at this. Look how like pretty this is. It's not going to play out. This will ultimately fail if Bitcoin decides to roll over here and they go for that 91,880 CME futures gap fill. This will fail, but my God, are they not? So they already broke a supply line. Okay, so then what I liked was after they broke the supply line, well, they failed, but what I really liked was the failure from sellers to push the price to 196 again, 190. That sign of strength, too much demand, and then they broke back out. They even back tested here. And now you're just up against this potential inverse head and shoulders neckline. And it looks like, I mean, if all stayed the same or equal in 15 minutes, it would be a confirmed neckline breakout. But we had that already. We failed. It was a false bullish breakout. But what I liked was, after the false bullish breakout, more evidence of accumulation, more than before. Like, they weren't able to push the price very far at all. You couldn't rival the previous low. So, man, you got an ongoing development, technical development on XRP, at least on the 12-hour here, okay? This is all gonna be real bad if Bitcoin starts rolling over, but nice stuff for XRP. We're seeing something go on here, and you just gotta wonder, is it gonna decouple from Bitcoin's price action? A lot of upside if it did break upward, because look, right, you know it, I know it, everyone in the world knows this right here. We've seen them, they develop, sometimes they play out brilliantly, but look what's going on, right? We had this false breakdown where XRP lost about 20% of its value at the intra-week lows a couple weeks ago, but then the buyers came in later in the week, recaptured the neckline. And that confirmed a false bearish breakdown. So it never was. It felt like it at the time, but no, not on the close. It's all about how traders settle up. They settled up saying, nah, we're not gonna break this level. So the consequences of that could actually be a rally to the left and right shoulders. I mean, that's your target area, is 290 on a false bearish breakdown of a head and shoulders. Like, man, you get these, okay? If there's just not enough supply, and there's too much demand, this is the kind of stuff you're looking for, because we're about to get a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, about to get our highest weekly candle close since March 17th. I mean, your upside, if this fails, which it already has begun to fail, I mean, your upside's like 28 to 30% here on XRP. So it's our job to identify structures, but at the same time to expect nothing and to identify price action correlation to the confirmation line of these structures. This is the confirmation line. This confirms it. And we got nothing. They broke it March 31st. It looked like it was going to catch follow through. And we're looking at this newer data and saying they didn't do it. It's not a real head and shoulders until we break this line with confirmation and follow through price action. So I'm at least cautiously optimistic on XRP until the sellers recapture the 190, 196 level, okay? You gotta be feeling okay about it till that's broken. And then, yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of it, right? The line in the sand. I would want nothing to do with XRP below 194 on the weekly. I just wouldn't. Just nope. But if we're above it, hey man, there's actually possibly a lot of upside, 30% upside. So that's it. Okay. XRP. All right. Sorry, man. Not too much lumbar support in this location. Nothing like my Herman Miller in the in the battle station, but I'm getting through it. All right. So a hope of spring. Okay, like George R. R. Martin's unfinished book of A Song of Ice and Fire saga. He's never gonna finish it, chat, by the way. If you're a reader, I read all those books back in college, and I've been waiting. I'm not kidding, dude. I've been waiting on him to finish the last 2 books of A Song of Ice and Fire since I was graduating college. And here I am, like grown man. Nope, not happening. Anyway, so time to open my blinds. It's such a beautiful sunset going on right now. Wish I could see it. Maybe I should just get another $3,000 camera just so we can look at the sunset together. We're gonna have 2 cameras set up on this computer. Okay, so XRP, kind of the most redeeming right now, seems like. A lot of stuff to talk about. Then we go to Solana. Sorry, my electric blinds are rolling up right now. So after such nice price action and key levels on Solana, you ran to a high point of 157.20, 159.58 to 163 was this other zone of inflection. All right, lots of support resistance. I figured that's where you'd be headed, but not if Bitcoin's going to roll over now. I think that might have been it. So, yeah, it's been a long extended rally. I mean, off the lows, that's crazy. Solana's up, it was at its highest point a few days ago, up 65% from the nadir. Oh my God, that is so freaking pretty. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. Wow, that's so freaking amazing looking. Whoa, Calvin!
Over the years, please know you're appreciated by many.
Dude, Calvin, man, can we please? Please.
Hype in the chat!
Dude. Calvin, man, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. And yeah, thank you for that. And thanks for watching over all these years. And thank you for the kind words. Man, you stream for over 7 years, dude. You get the ups and the downs. People get banned. The market craps out. Liquidity dries up. And sometimes it's just like, dang, man. I think live streaming's like a progression thing. It's more like a feast and famine seasonal thing, more than a progressive growth thing. Where like, hey man, yeah, as a streamer, you should be just always growing. It's like, not our world. But let's be real. When I started doing this wasn't a thing. Oh yeah, let's just live stream market analysis. No man, 2018, like 1-2 people were doing it. So we're like pioneers of this world. So at some point, the book will be written. It will be called Streaming in the Zone. Get it on audio tape. It'll be good, man. But yeah, like it'll just be like my experiences along the way of building an online community. So yeah, thank you, dude. Really appreciate that. All right, Solana down today 0.7%. Anything above 135.81 is awesome. But yeah, after a 65% rally with virtually no pullbacks, this is what I'm saying. You get pullbacks and what you want to see pullbacks, because look, man, here's your low, here's your lowest high, here's your lowest low, lowest high, lowest low of downtrend. Guess what? It's finally a higher high than this high. But all right, hook me up, dude. Hook me up with like one more, like a discernible, right? A discernible higher low on the daily. Oh, I can see it. These are back tests of levels, but they're not discernible swing lows. They're just part of this wave up, this recovery wave. So we're looking for a wave this wave to conclude, give us a short-term wave down, and then all of a sudden we get that beautiful inverse head and shoulders situation, and maybe they even violate the level a little bit, and we like rival that left shoulder from March 10th, and then we recapture and we reconfirm it, and then oh my God, you want to talk about most ultimate trade setup of all time? That would be right there for risk management, for structures. I mean, that would be massive, right? This would be exactly a swing trader's dream, to get 78 days of development of a structure and then positive price action correlation where it's optimum for risk management. Oh my God, dude, it would be freaking nuts. So yeah, I don't think it's in a good spot for fresh action or anything, but man, if we were able to get a 123 to 130 back test and it held, it would be amazing. So I'm having my music, man. What are they doing? So weird. Thanks again, Calvin, man. Chat, did y'all hype for Calvin, man? If you didn't, get wrecked. Haven't even popped out my chat yet, man. So Bitcoin, we got less than 6 minutes until the weekly candle close across this market. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button, the bell, sub. Thank y'all for being here. Mustafa, the love is mutual. Well, my name's not Niche, but yeah, thank you, dude. What's up, Robbie? And oh, it's Mezzo Gamma, dude. We were gonna bust. I was possibly flying out to the Great Plains this weekend, but it doesn't look like the environment is completely conducive for hardcore storm chasing, even though there's gonna be tornadoes for sure. It's just not logistically to like go from here out there, like getting rentals and lodging and all that. It's, you know, you want the conditions to be, oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy. So, but soon, May is upon us. So y'all be getting some, hopefully a few tornado live stream chases or live stream tornado chases like we got last year. But yeah, something to look forward to. Okay, so Solana, let's go to BNB, which is down today. And, you know, and really, for a swing trader, there's nothing to do here. You know, all we're able to do is identify a tweezer top reversal at a key resistance, and that's about it. You're really high elevated on price, so unless you're shorting with a stop above 621, 623, there's just not much to do as a long, right? But hey, it is interesting that they did put in a higher low in the previous low, but that doesn't reverse the trend, unfortunately. Just because you make one higher low doesn't mean it's not enough, right? You need consecutive higher highs, higher lows that are discernible on the daily to be able to say, by the book, the trend has reversed. You haven't yet. You're still possibly putting in your lowest high of the downtrend that's, you know, been going on since mid-December, like, you know, like Ethereum. Is Ethereum dead? No, it's not dead. I mean, you can still purchase pictures of monkeys. You can still stake. You lock up your money in some scam coins. You can still do that stuff. It serves its purpose, but I don't know, like, you know, you buying Ethereum, it's been proven now, okay? It's been proven now that buying Ethereum 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, and holding it all that time. Turns out it wasn't an investment. It was not an investment. You didn't make any money So if you buy something and it doesn't make any money over the course of 4 or 5 years, that's a tremendous amount of opportunity cost. You made no money. So how is that an investment again? It's not. It's not. But people will tell you though it is. That's fine. But man, if we had a time machine, people back then would be like, dude, Ethereum would certainly in 2025 be at 10, 15K, and it's not even controversial. They would say that. So, all right, there are your big cryptos. Let's look at your futures real quick. Okay, S&P 500 futures started the week down. It's down about 0.33%. Let's just play it for the sake of having a good time, man.
32.33 repeating, of course.
Yeah, down after a good week. I mean, a lot of positive things happened, last week where key levels were recaptured, unfilled gaps were left that way. They did not fill the gaps. And the issue is just like, you could continue higher and you still might not be safe from what this massive, violent wave down. This could have been it, man. This could have been like the trend reversed, and you're gonna rally and you're gonna go make an 88% retrace from this high to low. You're gonna come up with the 200 moving average and start rolling over, and the VIX starts spiking again on bad economic data, bad earnings, or whatever. But yeah, people are like, hey, the bottom's in. People are saying that. And I have no idea if the bottom's in, okay? That's gonna take a lot to come back from. But yeah, short term could have like a higher low here, and we could be going for a big 886 rally. Absolutely. You are not reversing your trend back to the upside probably until you're making all-time highs. That's what sucks. So. Here's your Dow Jones futures. Same thing. What I really like about Dow Jones futures, this is incredible, right? I mean, where's that? Okay, so you had all this price action from January 2024, May 2024. Look at this, June 20. What I do like a lot, the same type of that spring back test of spring that you got, and you're kind of getting that now. So they violated the key level, but the buyers immediately recaptured. Let's just say Trump recaptured the level, right, with that crazy tariff pause stuff. Oh, it's only going to be for China, man. We just rolled over ever since. But look at that. I mean, the level that was violated and recaptured has now been reconfirmed as support, and that's lovely. And that could very well mean we're going to go and test the next big resistance, which is 41.2 to 42K up here. But at the same time, it's like, dang, man, where are we right now? You're kind of like at this other level. You see that? I mean, you're kind of just flirting with $40,000, big psychological level. So again, these markets are very tough because you just don't know, like any rally we get, is it fraudulent? It could be. It could very well be a buyer-inducing rally. And there was, chat. We have it, okay? That was your weekly candle close on crypto. Let's go back to Bitcoin real quick and bask in its glory, where we had the highest weekly candle close since February, right here. Phenomenal. But that's about it, okay? So 3 positive weeks in a row. We had the bullish engulfing candle the week of April 7th. That's great. We needed follow through. We got the follow through candle. April 14th sweep. And then this week we got, right when you catch follow through, a lot of times you get moves up like this. That was great. And that's about it though. So again, anything above 91,500 is good, but after such a fast-paced wave up, we know where we are relative to Fibonacci, and we understand the significance of the 618, which was tested on Friday, and no higher. I mean, went up like the bots knew it was there, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna test it 96K, and we're back. We're below it." So again, I'm just thinking couldn't this be like perfect if we could just do this? It wouldn't take much, man. Okay, let's just do that and then let's go to 99K. Like I need to sneeze and I can't. I need to sneeze. Well, I will sneeze if we get to 91,880 on CME futures. Let's look at all the weeklies real quick. So let's look at Ethereum's weekly. That's a nice bullish engulfing candle confirmed. Hype in the chat. It's nice the 1728 was recaptured. It is a big deal. It is a level. The issue is you just have other levels above, right above you. You know, 1936 to $2,000. That's and then you got 2127. It does suck. You have so much adversity above you on Ethereum that it just makes it not as easy as some others would be, where you know you got wide open spaces, green pastures, blue sky. 4 hour was not a good close though for Bitcoin. That was a definite bearish engulfing candle, even below that local swing high of 94.18. Yeah, not great. But hey, that's rejoice. That was the highest weekly candle close confirmed officially on Ethereum since March 24th. Cool, dude. Very, very cool. Okay, then XRP's weekly close. We just got a bullish freaking engulfing candle. That's amazing. But is it enough? Not sure. Not really sure if it's enough. Because remember, if you paint the bullish engulfing candle, this week we need to have a higher close than this past week. So we need follow through this week for this to be a real Japanese candlestick reversal. 3-day. Highest 3-day candle close we had seen since March 23rd. And you know what you did? This is pretty cool. I don't know if it's real, but they just did it. Confirmed, chat. So let's get a big hype in the chat for a neckline of potential inverse head and shoulders here pattern. They did break it, but it's not about the breakout. It's about the follow through after the breakout. So love to see that, and that's wonderful, dude. But give me follow through now. It's impossible for XRP to catch follow through if Bitcoin's going to roll over here. If the CME futures gap's going to go get filled, this thing's coming right back down. So no expectations. We can be cautiously optimistic about XRP, but man, again, things need to maybe, I think definitely like Solana needs to pull back, like we talked about. Bitcoin needs to fill the gap on the futures. BNB is in no position to go really higher. Like it wouldn't make that much sense to be going like higher now. It could, but yeah, XRP is probably one of the best looking ones right now because they broke the supply line, painted the pattern. Okay, going back to the weekly. Look at Solana's weekly close. That was great, man. Highest weekly candle close on Solana since February 24th. And man, just any day above this zone here. Look, you're above it all. You see the 2020, September 2021, April 2022, swing highs. Look, all these swing lows. You're above it all. It's wonderful. But you just might spend, look, after 3 weeks, being up 65% in 3 weeks, what do they give us a red candle? We come back and we test some more. Man, that would just be so spectacular to get the check back. Because, right, you want to see it discernibly on these time scales, daily and weekly back test. Oh, I can definitely see it. All right, recapture with a bullish engulfing candle. You got some nice follow through. I want to check back, paint some patterns, and it will be good. But right now, like it's a long right here, kind of really impossible to manage your risk strategically. BNB. Highest weekly close since, I guess, March 17th. You're in between two levels, so it's impossible to manage risk. You got it. You know, it's just a zone here, man. A lot of bearish divergence, but bearish divergence played out, and you're only making technically higher lows than the previous lows, so it's still pretty strong. My God, like that. It was kind of scary for a while at the lows of these weeks, but man, CZ and his goons are not letting this level $500 break. And it could just wind up being a low, a higher low, and all of a sudden your RSI is like, what? Are they really showing hidden bullish divergence on the weekly? No way. And in fact, it could be. A low, the slightly higher low on price, and the lower levels on the relative strength index. So, oof, Bitcoin, 93,500 real quick, man. On the new day, on the new week. Excuse me, I didn't mean to hit my mic. Also, see me futures gap at 96. What? I thought that filled. Is there another one? No. 96. What are you talking about? No, there is no gap above us unfilled. Everything is filled. The only unfilled gap, even in the vicinity, that makes any sense is 91,880 right there. See this gap, that gap right there, that filled immediately, right? As soon as that one rally, the Trump pump and dump, filled that gap. Then we created another gap, and they filled that gap, rolled over, and it was cool to see this unfilled gap from right around the election, a couple days after the general election, that filled March 11th, months later, but it just shows the gaps fill. And so that's why I'm saying, man, with one so close to us after such a nice rally here, what would be wrong with 91,880? Only people in the short term would be hurting. So anyway, I'm just getting rid of these because they're all filled gaps. I don't want to confuse people. Only one that exists is right here. And I can't even, I use these magenta dotted lines to indicate unfilled gaps, but if I did it where it's supposed to be, you can't even see it because it's just a support as well. That's why I'm saying it's perfect. Okay. Did it do PopCat already? Yeah, dude. We looked at PopCat first thing on stream because it's the most important asset in the world. PopCat, dude. Yeah, so, pretty quiet weekend for crypto. Yeah, some assets been making recoveries, but most of them just garbage. Most of them just like putting in their like Altcoin, for instance. Look at this stuff, man. It's embarrassing, quite frankly. But look at this. I mean, it's like here's your massive wave down, already in a downtrend. This was the easiest price action we've ever seen. It was like, oh yeah, this thing's about to collapse. I mean, the bearish back test. Kidding me, dude? Like this was telegraphed on all these altcoins. Remember, we're getting called names because people were euphoric still. Man, people and there were so many more people here during these times. And anytime you're like showing that there might be some sort of conclusion to the rally that we've been sustaining, oh man, the name calling came out, but there's been no recovery off that. I mean, you could just plot like a little channel here. Look at this. It's kind of perfect. Like all these touches here. Forget the Trump pump and dump, yeah, the scam wick, but another test. So you're testing horizontal line support resistance. Look at this. It was support. It was support. It was support. It's now flipped for the first time, literally ever, chat. Filecoins regarding 285 as resistance. That is terrible. I mean, that is leagues. That is in another league from something like XRP or Solana. I mean, this is the worst. This is like extinction watch on Filecoin. After you already made all-time lows just recently in early April, this month. Miserable. And so many are like this, where you can't, when you look at it, you're just, I'm just going to hit the space bar because there's nothing here that indicates that there are buyers conducting a buying campaign or, composite operator. It's just been bad, man. And there's Bitcoin, 93,350 and falling. I'll tell you one thing. I remember Ethereum had that bearish divergence, but I'll tell you this, on the 4 hour. You know what also had bearish divergence? Solana. 4 hour. Let me show you here. Let me show you. Very, very real. Bearish divergence. So you made a high on price. Look how beautiful it was. It was so gorgeous. High, slightly higher high, with substantially lower levels of positive momentum, lower levels of relative strength. But I loved about the RSI was it got overbought on the second peak. And that's like the textbook Wells Wilder example right there. Let there be no doubt. So, impending price action, reversal to the downside implied. Well, looks like you're about to get it because, you know, they came back down. They pushed this down in immediate results, right, on the RSI and MACD bearish divergence. But look at this. Impossible. No bids, not enough demand to even do anything. So we're about to mark down, and I think you're probably going to 141 at least. Weak price action, not good price action. Same with Ethereum. Remember, talk about weakness here. A high, a slightly higher high with a shooting star reversal at 1850, and it's just real. It's just TA's being respected and going down now. So I'm glad to see it, not like for the sake of your long-term portfolio, but it's just technicals. If the technicals are implying going lower, I would want it to go lower for the TA to be respected. That's the slogan of this channel, this community. Chat, where y'all coming in at, man? I'm down here in Miami. Trying to not hurt my back here. Okay. Where y'all at? As we watch Bitcoin draw down, maybe we're going to get that futures gap fill if we're lucky. Sun setting here. It is truly a mesmerizing view. Makes me never want to leave here, to be honest. Jeez. Where y'all at, man? Boca Raton, you're not too far. Shanghai, no way, I don't believe you. Kagasan, Shanghai, how, dude? You must have a good firewall. Crypto traders coming in from Ottawa. What's up, dude? Illinois for Chris. Jeremiah's in Maui. Wow, Dubai for Faraz. Man, I bet you love it over there. Sri Lanka for Vicky. Atlanta. Ravi says, unfortunately. Argentina. Iowa. You better be careful, Steve. Be a lot of tornadoes. Tornado potential tomorrow for Iowa and some of Wisconsin. Upstate New York for Leonardo. Wall Street Mavi's in Greece. Vinicius is in Brazil. Brian's in Bama. Roll Tide. He's in Tennessee. Oof. Orange. Yikes. Just kidding. So we got y'all are all around the world, man. Like literally, we have an online global community of traders, market enthusiasts, technicians. Is this the new tornado alert channel? Well, we have a decorated meteorologist who taught me how to storm chase, who's in here, Mezzo Gamma. He's here, dude. He's around. He works at the National Weather Service headquarters, dude. I mean, this dude's for real. So, yeah. I've always had that. And my uncle worked at the Weather Channel when I was growing up, so it's always been about that. But, I mean, technical analysis and meteorology are so freaking similar in all ways. I can make 20 analogies about it. About like storm chasing and trading, swing trading. Momoy's in England, man. I didn't know they let y'all watch American stuff anymore in England, dude. Surprised. Echo Leafs in Hithlum. What, you're in Bellarand? You kidding me, dude? Yeah, coming in from Gondolin, from the peak of the castle. Okay, so yeah, 4 hour. Some exhaustion exists on a few of these assets, and that's fine. Stuff like Litecoin, where this was a short setup, it was perfect, man. And you hit target 3, the exit, and then the bullish divergence developed, and then the rally came in. But the issue is now you had a bearish engulfing candle confirmed just now, and I bet you money on the 4 hour, it's gonna look maybe like some buyers are exhausted. Of course, look, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, a high on price, a higher high on price, lower levels. It's bearish divergence. So these little rallies that didn't have any sort of confirmation on daily or significant time scales. Yeah, nice spring back test of spring on the 4 hour. Holy crap, man, that's crazy. But no big structures, okay? So when you don't have big structures and then no big structures, but then pretty big rallies, don't be surprised if they're short-lived and they don't really manifest into anything great, like big rallies. We're going to 105. Typically, you'll get these rallies, and then eventually divergence develops, and you start rolling over again. I don't know if I don't think $84 holds with divergence this real. I mean, that's the high, the higher high, an overbought territory. Yeah, and then that bearish engulfing candle on the daily and the 4 at the same time. I mean, you would imagine probably we're going lower in the short term, but hey, above 84, that's a key inflection point. It's not a joke. Above it for now. Yes, the weekly is closed. Yeah, no edge, man. Just wave up after crashing. How much from the entry? After crashing 51% in 37 days, yeah, you get little rallies like this and no structure, just an engulfing candle. Thanks, Trump. He saved the world with that tweet, I'm telling you. What was it? I don't know. I haven't even looked at that one in a minute. Avalanche down 1.1%. Not good, man. Dude, terrible. Like, I get it. It's so cool we made a confirmation low. You get confirmation lows and downtrends, dude. But is that enough evidence for us to believe the trend's reversing? Nope. Because what happens on the second low? They rally it and do what? Oh, 88% retrace from previous high to low. Oh, yeah, I've seen this before. Bearish engulfing candle at 2244. Look how they... You know, on the last time they tried to break it, they up thrusted through it and then immediately rejected and then back tested and it collapsed. And this time rallied, and not one day could traders settle up above that 2244 level. It's so crazy. It's so, like, you'd think it's so good, but it's not, man. It is not good to reject that. It's like the ultimate, quite possibly the lowest risk area ever for a short seller on Avalanche. Just think about it. Let me do high to low. Ah, the 88% retrace. Confluent with very real overhead resistance. And I bet you maybe 4-hour bearish divergence. Let's see. Am I crazy? It was bad, dude. It was like... It actually, you couldn't show bearish divergence because there was such a lack of demand on the 4-hour that the buyers could never even take out the previous high. It was like your highest high, then all these are lower highs. And it's like you're confirming a top at a very real inflection point. So it's an even weaker form of what we've been seeing on the larger ones where, like, hey, Ethereum was making a slightly higher high locally. Solana slightly higher high. But this one's like slightly lower high. See it? Lower high. But still bearish price action correlation to key inflection point. Remember the big reversal here. Look what happened when they rejected this level. Look at this. They rejected it. What happened? Oh my God. It went down 32% in 4 days. You're not in an uptrend. You're still in a long-term downtrend. You just hit the deepest threshold you could possibly hit from the previous high to low to say you're still in a downtrend. Because, hey, you could be making a higher high. You're not. So you just got to wonder, that's not something you can trust. Sorry, Avalanche. Nice rally off the lows, right? I mean, no one's going to argue and say that it wasn't a nice 56% rally in 15 days, but that's long extended, man, long in the tooth. Now, we know this level. Anyway, so you asked, so whatever. Shiba? You want Shiba, dude? Same type of double bottom stuff, but same type of 886 stuff. Where it's almost like this. I mean, it's like you got almost the ability to say that it's not almost. It's not almost. It's literally real. Like, what is that? Chat, can someone tell me what this pattern is? What is this? 88.6% retrace. Kidding me? Shiba making its... Can't believe it, making its lowest high of the downtrend right here. Barely, but okay, well, it's the... Get a couple answers. Trip on Magic set, Trip on Magic Incorporated again. Yeah, it's the bearish bat pattern. High low on C, 38% retrace on B, 886 on D. Nice reaction, that's certain. Guess what? From a high to a slightly higher high, you had bearish divergence here too. So I hope the key level holds up. But man, can't catch a break here, can you? Win higher highs. Yep, tough dude. Tough on the 4 hour. Not the best place to be identifying these W shapes because the value just isn't there because it's been destroyed. Looking for W shapes at tops, but you can see bearish. You can certainly see bearish continuation harmonics in well-established downtrends. But man, I'll tell you, right? I mean, is that not a real shooting star reversal? Shooting doji star with follow-through candle confirmed now? It's real. Like, it might not, act as a reversal, but certainly you have confirmation of a bearish Japanese candlestick pattern on Shiba. It just happens to be an 88% retrace from the previous high to low. This is some pretty good variables to not feel great about Shiba. I don't feel confident about Shiba right now due to these variables, okay? Thanks for the over 700 people still tuned in. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Sorry about Bitcoin pulling back, but sometimes these things are necessary, right? So what's like kind of what are we determining here? Like shortest of short term. Crypto looks ready for a small wave down, a wave down, right? Because local slightly higher highs with that buyer exhaustion, and the trend's just not reversed to the upside fully yet. But we're getting there, right? They're stalling out on the swing lows. So now we really just want to see a higher low. Give me a freaking higher low on something, man. It's hard to do that. They haven't been able to. Yeah, Mafia, man. Thanks for watching, dude. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one tuned in. I'm telling you, man. I appreciate y'all so much that I don't make you watch advertisements. I hate ads. Like, probably more than anything, I hate advertisements. And I get it. It's like the bread and butter of the entertainment industry and all that. And it's like, I can't imagine how much money I've like just not made because I could have advertised, I could have accepted sponsorships, but it's just like, nah, I'm in y'all's shoes. I get it. I don't like them. You don't like them. I know you hate them. And that's okay. It's okay to hate advertising, okay? Yeah, so it's just, in the end, I'll be like, okay, I'll take less money on my journey as a streamer in order to be able to provide possibly more value. Yeah, Shiba, I don't know, man. I'm not really big on it. What's up, Use Your Head? Coming in from Germany. Dude, it's late over there. Germans need to start producing energy again. You're going to become third world. Well, I mean, you've already imported the third world, so you're well on your way, dude. Good luck to Germany and a lot of European Union countries. Y'all are not going in the right direction, but they're telling you you are, and you're not. I'm telling you. You can trust unelected bureaucrats over me? Really? Okay, so what was it? Someone was asking... I'll take a total real quick. I like totals. Well, total, bro, total's looking like ready to roll over too. Okay, because you know $2.9 trillion is not a joke, man. It's the highest candle close ever back from November 2021. All right, what a nice squeeze and rally off that. But you're testing the 200-day moving average 3 days in a row. Shoot, 4 out of the last 6 days tested the 200 as resistance and couldn't break it. Then you bearishly engulfed. Okay, you bearish engulfing just moments ago, less than 30 minutes ago, confirmed. And what'd you do? Traders settled up below the candle high close from 2021. You just did. I can't help it, man. This has been painted for a long time. And you don't want to see the price of total below this level because the downside potential is massive. You have tons of downside potential here. So you start looking at the 4 hour on these altcoins, and then you look at total, you say, well, this is starting to make a lot of sense for the next thing to happen. Maybe we wave down some. I mean, not saying the end of the world. I'm not saying we're making lower lows than the previous lows. I'm just saying that we wave down and hopefully put in a higher low somewhere. Supply crunch on Bitcoin. Look, man, yes, I get it. We are at over 7-year lows on Bitcoin on exchanges. Over 7-year lows. But that we've been at like 6-year lows, 5-year lows, 4-year lows. And all of those times we've been able to say exchange, Bitcoin has lowest amount on exchanges. You've gone through crazy drawdowns, ups and downs as that's been happening. So it's really, you know, I don't think it's going to give you the answer you want. You know, it's great though. Yep. Supply is evaporating, but there's still plenty of supply of Bitcoin for people to sell. All right. And then there's the, you know, there is the Twitter thing with the M2 and Bitcoin, you know, with it. I wouldn't trust that either, man. And I read that, like, the reason why the M2 looks like, the global M2 looks like that, or like one's an accounting error or some sort of glitch in India, and the other one had something to do with the Chinese yuan. It's really like not like that. So I wouldn't get too crazy. But yeah, you know, it's like, oh, okay, so if that's, I mean, it's crazy that it started playing out identically, right? Because the money supply was like a dragon, and then it went nuts, and you know, M2 looks like this. But that's what M2 looks like the dragon that played out, dragon tail, and this is Bitcoin. And so people on Twitter are like, well, this is going to happen. This is where we're going next. We're going to 142, and there's going to be no waves down. It's like, dang, man, that's bold to say that. Now, there is no magic chart. There's not. No magic chart. There's only pattern identification, and then there's, oh, the increased probability of something maybe happening next. Walmart Head and Shoulders. So Walter, coming in from Belgium? No, from Netherlands. What? Dutch? Am I crazy? I was about to look at something. What the heck? We didn't look at the. Let's just look at the futures chart real quick. Here's your futures, your stock market futures. S&P, top left, top right, Dow Jones, bottom left, NASDAQ 100, bottom right, Russ 2000. On the new week, we're seeing a little red. I mean, the S&P is down about 0.5%. Dow Jones down 0.41%. But really, I'm kind of concerned about the Dow Jones because it seems like, oh, we're going to be all right, man. We're recapturing this really key level from history that I'm not, like, it's just real. Like, it's not an opinion. It's just like, it's so real. And here they are, possibly, somehow, and I hope it's not real. I hope it's just bullcrap, but they confirmed a top here before rolling over and hitting support and then rallying to hit resistance once, and then they up thrusted through the second time, and now it's like, please don't do this. If you do this, we're so screwed, man. Like, don't confirm locally your lowest high of this newer downtrend we're in now. Like, look, your high is lower than this high is lower than this high, lower lows than the previous lows, and then this high is lower than that high, this high is lower than this high. Now, are you doing it again, man? Because if they fail here, we start rolling over, my God, you're just going straight back down another 5% on the Dow Jones, which will be good because there are some assets that have some W-shaped patterns with type 2 returns that, I mean, it looks like impeccable for major reversals to the downside. But I just hope it doesn't happen. You're just kind of looking at 4-hour price action. It's like one high, the second high, one high, the slightly higher high. And it's like, you gotta wonder, do we have on the S&P futures bearish divergence in the 4-hour? Maybe not. People would try to say, yeah, but man, you try to like get separation of these histogram islands. probably okay here, but man, I'll tell you, the Dow Jones not looking too hot, nor the NASDAQ, nor really the Russell 2000. One high, the second high. They're just stalling out above a key level, and it could just be an upthrust. Fall back below 1924, way lower. You're saying like Walmart, Head and Shoulders? Maybe, but it's gonna be a weird Head and Shoulders. So it's all about this level right here. I mean, someone could really, like, they could take the short, like the lowest risk short ever, have a stop. You might get stopped out tomorrow morning. Like, that's the issue. It's like some of these have been just really, really obstinate and stubborn. Like where, oh, they're at these levels and they just breaking them. It's like, what? So yeah, I mean, you definitely are at a level where once and twice now, these buyers have failed to break this December 9th high at $96. You wonder, is that, you scale in 4 hours there. See, yeah, I mean, I understand the argument, right? Like, this high is being tested once and twice, and on the second high here, you can clearly see that bearish divergence is very real. Again, but it's just the 4 hours, so it may not mean much. But dang, man, it's implying that buyers are exhausted right here. I mean, it's a slightly higher high, too. So I understand why someone might be inclined to say, all right, dump it, shorting. But tomorrow you're stopped out, and then it rallies and goes fills the gap at 104, then it collapses, whatever, or never collapses. It's freaking Walmart. But yeah, someone's got an argument, but these markets are really crazy, dude. I'm thinking about stuff like Southern Company. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Like, dude, you look at this and it's perfect. Like, it may fail. It might just, it happens. It might just do this. It's Southern Company, dude. It's utilities. It's like defensive. It's never going lower. But dude, the structure here is so real. I mean, you got Class B into Class C bearish divergence in the MACD histogram. Just the continuation of stagnation, of momentum. It's there. And then you've got like just continuation of bearish divergence. And really it's kind of like convergence, because traders are settling up now lower April 16th and onward than we saw April 2nd and March 7th. So the type 2 return is like giving you a confirmation high here. But yeah, it may not play out. But dude, the framework, you have max downside potential with this structure here. So I hope it plays out for the sake of TA being respected, right? But then you got ones like, what was it? Was it McDonald's? I think McDonald's, like, it had the same thing, but just they keep on trying. Look at this. So it's this old all-time high from October, up thrusted through for a 113 sharp, sold off, and then it's like a lower high here, distribution, then a lower low than previous low, then it's rallying. It's like, what? They're failing, and then there's a strong week, right? For a macro week is keeping McDonald's completely propped up here, but they close the week actually below the level and bearishly back testing the level. And so it's like, man, the setup for lower prices is here, but they can still fail, right? Isn't that really interesting? I mean, how this is set up. Like, it's saying, all right, we're going way lower, but it's McDonald's, dude, so it may not, and you have earnings coming up May 1st, so yeah, it's tough, man. Really tough. Like, because you have any more, like, after the overall index funds have been so destroyed, they're starting to wave up because they put in a higher low locally, and it's just going to keep squeezing. There's no way this is going lower. It would require, like, the macro to start deteriorating again. The VIX would need to start spiking again for stuff like this to play out. So all right, chat. Well, we've been live now for like an hour and 16 minutes. So, you know, dude, until the market conditions improve and we start getting price action again, like, things are just going to be business, man. It's, you know, I was a piece of bread on Friday. It was really dead. I mean, there's not much I can really do to get people interested in these markets again. Price is going to be doing that time. So all I can do is try to be just a rock where everything else is the river. by being the rock, I stay consistent, right? I stay focused on showing up and providing the value that I've been providing for over 7 years. While everything else, up and down, people come and they go, people chat, they don't contribute, all that. So that's the hardest part, I think, about streaming, is understanding, man, the amount of euphoria, 25, almost 3,000 viewers just, in January, December and January, constantly. Over 20,000 view streams. I mean, and now here we are, and it's like Bitcoin's at 93.7, and it's almost like, dude, I thought Bitcoin was at $3,000 based on chat and engagement. It's like, no, dude, no, we're good. So, yeah, thank you all so much for coming out. Bitcoin's going to be fine, but remember the CME futures gap needs to fill 91,800 and change. Be like the wind. If I'm like the wind, that means I'm not streaming. If I'm like the wind, that means I stream when y'all show up. Well, I'm talking about when the masses show up. That's the only time I stream. There are a lot of people that live stream that's all they do. They will only show up for like big events, big price action. They're not here during the dead times. So no, I will not be the wind. I will be the rock, and everything else will be the river. And the good news, it takes hundreds of thousands and not millions of years for the river to erode the rock. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. You get notified when I go live. There's education in there. Good people. Okay. Follow the rules. Don't be like posting inappropriate, weird, gross stuff. Remember, it's a family-friendly community. Okay. We like Jesus. We just do. Okay. We're proud of, having that underlying subtle Jesus factor. I know you might not believe in God. I get it. But man, the faith and the foundational pillars of Christendom built Western civilization. Even if you don't believe, it did. And you're living it right now. So that's our community, man. Family friendly. So please respect that, and everything's going to be good. So thanks so much for coming out. I'll be back. Until next time, respect the T.